Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gloves Off. I'm your host, Dr. Kalpana Sundar, and if you have been following Gloves Off, I have an announcement for you because Gloves Off is evolving. So obviously, every week I have a guest that I talk to, and those people are always people who are doing something bold, something innovative, hence the whole Gloves Off. But I would say over the past year and a half, I feel like there needs to be an evolution of Gloves Off, and I'm going to bring in some new things into the mix. One of which was Gloves Off After Dark, which I co-host with Joshua Berglund. So you may have seen that. We've done a couple of episodes and we've been getting some great positive feedback. But then I decided that I wanted to have another aspect of Gloves Off where I share insider secrets, and that's what this is about. So I'm going to do this a little bit more regularly because I think there are things out there that we don't talk about and we need to talk more about as founders, as entrepreneurs, as human beings. And one of my distinctions or my unique qualities is I'm really able to tell the truth. And I would say what's interesting about me is that I can actually tell the truth better on camera than sometimes in front of people face to face. For whatever reason, on camera, those truths come out really easily for me. And I decided to make that my superpower. So we're going to get into that today. But before that, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have been watching Gloves Off, obviously, thank you for watching. If you're new, well, thanks for being here. But I have other podcasts. Then there's Gloves Off After Dark, as you guys may have watched already. Unbound and Uncensored is coming soon. So just keep your eye out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that. So let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about reinvention because it's not easy to reinvent oneself. And that's just something I've done a lot. And it's important that people know that there are two places to live in life. One is in your comfort zone where nothing changes and everything is as it is, or you could be brave enough to reinvent yourself and get out of your comfort zone. Well, I've spent most of my life in that place, so I'd love to talk a little bit more about it because I would say my life to the person who's looking at me from the outside maybe looks a little disjointed and fragmented because I like a lot of things that don't really go together. And because of that, it may look like I'm crazy or don't know what I'm doing. But what I did was I embarked on a journey over the last 8 years, and I wanted to figure out what it was that really lit me up because I was in a career in medicine that I wasn't lit up. I was good at it, but that doesn't mean that that was what I was supposed to do. That being said, I just started to follow my path of what I enjoyed. Media is something I enjoyed, so I did that. I love writing, so I started to do that. Then I love strategy, finances, business. So I started to get more and more involved in all of those things and learned as much as I could learn. I went and got my financial professional licensure. And again, to the people outside looking in, they say, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. She's a doctor. She's doing all these things. Maybe she doesn't know what she's doing. And to be completely honest, I actually didn't know what I was doing for the longest time either. But one day I had this epiphany and it explained the journey that I've been going on for the past 8 years very, very succinctly. And I woke up with this in the middle of the night. Honestly, it was probably about 3 nights ago. So I'm excited to share this with all of you. What I realized is that for the past 30, 40 years of my life, I have been chasing the wrong things because society tells us to chase all the wrong things. Number one, it teaches us to chase health. It teaches us to chase money as well as success. Well, I lived the first half of my life chasing all of those things, only to find myself completely miserable, completely disconnected with who I really was. And then the epiphany. What is the epiphany? That instead of chasing health, money, and success, we should actually be changing our goals into vitality, wealth, impact. Now let's examine those words for a minute because I chose them very, very carefully. Health is not the same as vitality. And we innately know that, but we don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. We don't think about a lot anymore in life because our lives are filled with so much damn noise. We don't have the time to get quiet and think. So we just stay in our comfort zone. So health. I meet many people who say they're healthy. They eat well, they exercise. but they don't have vitality. And that's a whole different thing. Vitality is about that spark that you have in life, that excitement, that passion. How many people do you know that have that? I actually don't know many people at all. And that was one of my goals in life, that I wanted to have that vitality, because I had it once upon a time when I was a kid, then I lost it and I just reclaimed it. And that is very powerful. So then let's talk about money versus wealth. I was an ENT physician. I was making a lot of money, but I had no freedom, no say in how I got to live my day. I just felt trapped. I felt like I had built myself the most expensive prison ever. And all I wanted was to claw my way out of the cell. Now, that is a very unnerving feeling when you built the cage that locks you in. A lot of us do that in one way or another, maybe not with a business, maybe in a relationship, maybe in family dynamics, maybe in a career, whatever. We have built a cage that keeps us comfortable, but nonetheless keeps us caged. For me, money isn't everything. It's wealth. Wealth gives you freedom. Wealth gives you the opportunity to make choices to enhance your life. That's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. And wealth is nonlinear. Money, when you make money, is very linear. Wealth is nonlinear. So that's another important point. And then last but not least, we're all busy chasing success, but success really leaves you empty. I had lots of success. People would look at me and go, oh my God, your life is so amazing. It's so perfect. You've got the husband, you got the kids, you got the house, you've got the business. Well, it didn't feel that way to me. And I realized that, wait, I don't know that success was what I was after, because it was impact. That was what I was after. I wanted to change people's lives in a way that really mattered. But growing up, I didn't really know how to do that. And we're taught that you have to do it by helping people. And, then automatically you go into healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. Most of us who are in healthcare are repressed because we want to help people, but we found the only way that we think we know how to help people, but there are a lot of ways to help people. So the whole vitality, wealth, impact is really why I created this event, Life by Design. And I'll be honest with you, I have created many things before. I'm an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur, so I've done many, many things. Many of them don't scare me. And I'm going to tell you something really truthful that I've never shared before. There's something about when you put yourself really out there in something you really care about, it becomes the scariest thing that you've ever done. And I am no stranger to fear. I have conquered many, many fears in my life, but I'll be honest. This one represents my essence. This represents everything I truly believe in and everything I truly value in life. So this one feels most scary to me. And also there's this fear that people won't get it because everybody is sleepwalking in their comfort zone. And I see it every day. They know when they're around me that they don't have a choice to sleepwalk anymore because I'm not sleepwalking. And I bring that out of people, and not to get too woo, but it's the truth. We can be so locked into our comfort zone that we just sleepwalk through life, basically. And there's something about me that when I'm interacting with people, I've been told this many times, I give people permission to live the life that they want, permission to be who they want to be, permission to live freely and in the way that suits them and their individuality, not what society tells them to do. So I wanted to share all that because I realized that so many of us really see all these things on Instagram, on YouTube and whatnot, but nobody's really telling the truth about what it feels like to be an entrepreneur, to be coming up with something new, because it's really lonely and it's really freaking scary. And nobody talks about that stuff. And I wanted to be the one who calls out the stuff that everybody's too afraid to say. People glorify entrepreneurship and strategy and all of these things. And you know what? There's so much more to life than just that. There's so much more to life than just money. There's so much more to life than just working. And everybody I meet is stuck in that world. Work, 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 work. You know what? I'll do it when I retire. Well, guess what? Most people retire and they are unhealthy, so they can't really enjoy their retirement. Many of them don't actually even have the money that they need to enjoy their retirement fully. Even more are afraid to admit what they really want because society teaches us that we should have scarcity in retirement. Well, I don't want to retire like that, frankly. I mean, I'm one of the few people who says, no, I don't want to retire in scarcity. But then the flip side of that is that I just love what I do so much that it doesn't really feel like work. So I might just keep working. So I'm just saying that there's a different way to live life. There's different ways to think about it. And I really wanted to share that with all of you today. So I'm going to try to get on here a little more frequently and do the Insider Secrets version of Gloves Off, where I really connect, because part of my growth and my journey is to be more vulnerable, because I have, and I'm very good at pretending I've got this. And the reality is that underneath it all, I'm still a human being. I still feel all the fears, all the trepidations, all the loneliness, all of the things that everybody feels. But most of us are too afraid to say it. So I just wanted to normalize everybody out there being vulnerable, sharing how they really feel about stuff. So anyway, Gloves Off, Insider Secrets. This is going to be, yes, a monologue between me and you, but I'm going to share my deepest, darkest thoughts, and I want it to become normalized. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you join us the next time. I don't know how often I'm going to do these. I'm thinking that I'd like to maybe do it once a month, maybe a little more frequently over the next couple of weeks, so that I enhance my vulnerability muscle. But anyway, stay tuned, everybody. Thanks so much for watching and being here for another episode of Gloves Off.